that button. We'll hit that button. Let's have a look and make sure. Hopefully, I get an advert on here any second. And that will tell me we are live. Usually works. Come on. I think we're live, guys. Yeah. There you go. We are live. Brilliant. Oh, we got anybody in? So we've got 25 people in the chat at this point in time. Hopefully a few more trickle in. For those who are already in the chat, firstly, thanks for taking the time to come and check us out, guys. How are you doing? Welcome to the Supernatural Strength channel. I'm the fat lad, Neil Pickup, and I'm here with two very special guests. These guys need no introduction in the world of professional arm wrestling. They're two of the very best in the world. And they're guys with history, and we're going to get into that as we walk through tonight's show. But I want to just introduce these lads for the newcomers, for the people who may not know them. First of all, this young man hails from Lithuania and resides in Copenhagen, Denmark. He is one of the very best lightweight arm wrestlers in the world, former winner of the Nemiroff World Cup also. And his name is Mindalysis TARASAITIS. Mindalysis, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing pretty well. It's a bit late here in Denmark, but it's okay. It's okay.
What time are you at now? Is it like 11:30?
Let me see. I guess it is, no, 10:30.
10:30, okay.
I'm normally going to sleep at 10, so it's late for me.
He's a clean living guy. What can we say? Clean living lad. And the other guy we got on the call, ladies and gentlemen, is from right here in the UK. He is, I'm going to say, in my opinion, the best of British. This is the best arm wrestler in Great Britain, pound for pound. And his name is the Lean Machine, Tom Holland, WL star, Arm Wars star. Tom, welcome to the show, mate.
Good to be on here, mate. How you been? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Hanging in there, brother. Hanging in there. Now, lads, Unfinished Business is the title of the main event in Arm Wars Iron House. And it's fair to say that that's a pretty apt title, pretty apt description, because you guys have history. You have arm wrestled before, but only on the left arm, I believe.
Yeah. We had a little muck about on the side table after on the right arm, but couldn't tell much from that because I've just got treatment for the injury that I had. That Daniel Christensen, he got me some treatment over there, shockwave therapy.
Okay.
That helped out quite a lot. So I wasn't able to go on the table. As soon as I had that next day, I was on there with Mindalysis. Even from then, I felt all right. Felt like I could break his wrist open quite easy.
No.
Yeah.
An early jab there. It's funny you should say Daniel Lund Christensen. Daniel Lund Christensen's actually in the chat right now, and he's just put, "Evening, Neil. Best of luck to both Mindalysis and Tom. Minda is going to do the same to Tom that I did to Kyle Hutchinson back in September. Great show, mate." And for those who don't know Daniel,
that's my boy.
Solid left arm. About 110, 115 kilos, Daniel, and he is rock strong. Is he the overall champion over there, mate, on the left?
I think he is at least 130, 135 sometimes.
135 now. Jesus Christ, the man who doesn't skip breakfast. He's put a bit of weight on.
And he is an overall champion on the left. Yes, he's not on the right. It's me.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, Daniel's left is crazy strong, without a shadow of a doubt. So let's take a sort of trip down memory lane a little bit, lads. Obviously, you guys did meet. Tell me the circumstances of that. Mindalysis, how did that come about, mate?
So the first match with Tom, right?
Yes.
I remember Daniel was making some kind of event. Also, he was maybe trying to copy you a little bit, trying to promote some matches.
I thought you meant going to the fridge a lot.
That too, probably.
That as well, yeah. 135 kilos, we've said it.
Yeah. And then, since we are good friends and training partners, so of course he would like to find a match for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tom was a pretty good option. Maybe, I'm not sure how do they met each other, but somehow Daniel got in contact with Tom. So that's how it came about. You know, we thought it would be a pretty good match. I'm not sure why did we do it on the left, actually, because my left at the time was Not that, how to say, it was not clear if it's working well or not. You know, I was still coming back after injuries. So yeah, not the greatest time for me, but I guess I don't know, we chose left for some reason. Maybe Tom was injured at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I didn't care, I said, okay, who is this guy Tom? He cannot be that good anyways, so let's just do it, whatever. And yeah, it happened. Plus, we had some other little inconveniences for me, which resulted in my unfortunate loss. And ever since when, I was planning to finish the business by maybe coming to UK myself and just catching Tom somewhere in the tournament and getting my revenge back. But it's good that you Neil helped me in this case, and I will get what is mine.
Now, Tom, what was your take on the match, mate? How did you find your first encounter with Mindalysis? Because he's got quite a reputation.
Yeah, obviously, when Dan first messaged me saying, "Oh yeah, do you want to come over to Denmark and pull Mindalysis?" Like, you know, I'm like straight away. I was like, "Yeah, 100%." Like that was my biggest match at the time that I could have taken on. I said, obviously, I can only do left arm because the right arm's like buggered.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yeah, when we got to pulling, it got to the day, and I don't know. I didn't seem too nervous. I was quite relaxed. Which probably, I don't know, it's not usually like me. I'm usually quite, start feeling the nerves in that.
Yeah.
But I think Mindalysis was, I think he was thrown back a little bit by how calm I was, because he was pacing around the room a little bit. And I was trying to like just keep calm as well, just try and get in his head a little bit. But yeah, after the first match, we ended up in a battle. The first start was actually a big battle. And then when we got the restart, I managed to crack where it was, and that I had to get. The thing with Mindo, he didn't really adjust. When I found his weakness in the first round, he didn't adjust or do anything else. He was just trying to do the same thing. So that's why it went how it went. If he changed it up, it could have been different.
Mm-hmm. How good is Mindalysis TARASAITIS, Tom?
Oh, he's world class. He's 100% world class, but that's why I want to pull him as well. That's why. And realistically, I'm not really fussed if I lose to him, because he is a world class puller. But just makes the victory even better if I do win.
Tom doesn't know yet how good am I, to be honest. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know yet.
No, we'll find out soon. Yeah. Sure, you're not that good.
No,
what happened last time? We had that one good start, and then I got some damage in the elbow.
Yeah,
and that was it. Couldn't stop the match anymore, no matter what I did. It went straight to the pad. So not gonna happen this time.
How does your left ordinarily compare with your right, Mindalysis?
So lately, maybe during the past 1 year, I am noticing that it is coming to its old glory, and both arms feel pretty good now, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to do really well.
Now, let's go back again. We set this match up originally as part of Arm Wars Reality Check last September. Arnold Classic UK, pretty much the coming out party of Arm Wars. We'd been away for a few years. I'd been focused on other promotions like the WAL. Hope that I will be again down the tracks if the WAL comes back. But one of the sort of sister promotions of the WAL had always been Arm Wars. It was always involved in my contract with the WAL. And it seemed like a great time to bring Arm Wars back. Now, we came out with a bang at the Arnold Classic UK show, the NEC, and we wanted to pull together a really brutal battleground. And it proved to be exactly that in so many ways. Mindalysis, you weren't able to attend the event at the very last minute. I think you were actually the first guy to say yes. When we proposed the 4 men, it was, for those who don't know, it was Mindalysis versus Tom in the opening round of the lightweight battleground. Jeff Hale versus Giannis Amelins on the opposite side. Losers progress, winners progress, and we end up with an overall champion. Now, you had pretty unfortunate roll, and your luck was shit leading into that, mate. I mean, was it the day before you got diagnosed with COVID? Like literally, you were on your way to the plane.
Yeah, I think the morning before the flight, I had to do the test because that was the requirement to get into UK. And then me and my wife are sitting here in the kitchen after the tests, and then we check the result, and and it is written in Danish because I'm in Denmark, and it's a strange, not negative positive, but it's a strange word for it. And I was like, interesting. We used to get a different word before, and then I realized, and then at the same time my wife checked it, and she's like, she also got it. And it's like, what now? So we were a bit shocked for a moment, and then I was even thinking, what, maybe can I still do something to, I don't know. But yeah, at the end, not possible, and probably for better.
I remember how gutted you were as well when you called me. I was actually putting the regalia on the table. I was putting the decals on the table at the time you called me.
Yeah.
I was doing, believe it or not, I was doing a YouTube video about the setup of the tables and the stuff that go into the arm wars and so on for background stuff, and the phone rings and it's you. And I couldn't answer the first time you called. Then you send me a message, and I thought, oh shit, rang you back, and obviously that was the issue. But they put the whole event into an absolute panic. We're like a day out, main event, battleground, a match that everybody had been so excited to see, and all of a sudden, it's in serious jeopardy. And it really put the entire thing in total jeopardy. We were panicking for a while. Kaspars Gravis of Latvia ended up getting to the venue and getting to the stage to arm wrestle Tom like an hour before the match, literally. How did you feel that went, mate? I mean, first of all, what was your sort of feelings when you had to stay out of there? You must have been really sick. You put so much effort in.
Yeah, I felt like that was maybe the thing which hurt me the most was the fact that I lost my chance at beating Giannis. That was maybe the main thing in my mind. Even though I had to fight Tom, of course, and we don't know how that would go, but somehow having a chance to the official go at Giannis was quite important to me. And so I was, of course, sad about it. And then in general, of course, Arm Wars, such a new beginning, I would say. Yeah. Obviously, you were going for something very different this time. So that as well was a big loss for me. Luckily, we are still doing it now. So I'm very happy about that. So it should be pretty cool.
What did you think of Kaspars Gravis' performance, mate?
Yeah, I was obviously very interested in how that would go because I know Kaspars, I know how good he is.
Have you pulled with him?
Pulled with him a couple times, and I even pulled him at the Europeans, which happened shortly after Arm Wars. And I did beat him on both arms, left and right. When I look at the footage now, it seems to me that I beat him easier than Tom did. But in any case, for sure, looks like me and Tom are somewhere very close to each other. So, and as you say, Tom is maybe the biggest, star from UK. So someone really serious. So I'm not underestimating him for sure. But at the same time, I have some good plans for the match. So confident.
And Tom, obviously, late change of opponent, unbelievably late change of opponent, coming into Arm Wars reality check. How did that affect you?
Well, I didn't have a clue what Kaspars does or anything. Obviously, I knew it was Latvia and he trains with Ray and that, but I didn't really watch any of his matches in tournaments, didn't know his style or anything. literally didn't watch any of his matches. Like in the 2 days notice that I had, didn't do no research at all. I actually said in one of the interviews as well on the Thursday that I wouldn't be surprised if I do lose the first match because I haven't got a clue. I said, but even if I lose the first match, after that I'll be all right.
And of course, there's more sort of more data out there on you, Tom, because you've been in some of the biggest promotions in the world. You've done arm wars a number of times. You've been over at WAL. Everybody's seen how you know. I think people know what to expect from you.
Yeah, you might see something different this time. You might see something different.
Very interesting. I mean, obviously, you've been out injured for a long period of time. We're talking, it's got to be nearly 3 years. And
it was April 2017 when in Germany when I pulled Patrick Berg. I think it was April 2017.
Power, yes, it was.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's when it completely went and didn't do no table time for like 2 years.
Now,
like, at all, nothing.
People have heard me say before that you've been damaged, severely damaged on your wrist throughout your entire career with the WAL. And they may think that that's, you know, not the case, but they only have to check your record in the UK prior to that. And then the fact that you literally did not arm wrestle right-handed for 2 to 3 years. I think that's probably the best evidence of how damaged you really were. And we know behind closed doors, you were like resting off so that you could fulfill your contract obligations for WAL and honor what you said you'd do. How much of a hamper was that for you? How much of a problem?
Oh, massive. Look, I said no table time at all. I couldn't do weights or anything. There was no exercise I could do that wouldn't affect the wrist, or it was getting to points where it was traveling from the wrist down to the elbow, up my tricep, and just like it was sharp electric pain. But as soon as I sort of engage any pressure, like with that wrist coming down there and supinating, just used to shoot all the way down, starting from the wrist there. Then I don't know if you see it on that, but the tendon's not actually sitting inside the wrist bone there. So it's still lit. So it's not actually healed, it's just not hurting anymore. But I've had to adapt to, I can still hook, but I'm hooking slightly different. I can't go raw side. Like completely inside now, like I used to.
It was. I'm glad, mate, because that was you were a horrible individual to arm wrestle. When you used to do that, it was just brutal as frig. Even on the practice table, it was like, no, I'll give it a miss.
Yeah. And now I've sort of changed it to more of a same position, but more of a dragging. So I've had to get my hand and wrist a lot stronger to be able to contain as I'm dragging, getting my lat stronger. But I think it's benefited a lot. Changing to that style.
And in terms of your overall fitness now, how are you back to anywhere near right? Are you healed?
I think I'm 100% now. I've come down 78 kilo.
I was going to say you look very, very lean.
Yeah, I've been walking to work like hour and a half, 2 hours to work and back like for the last 3 weeks. That's been losing a bit of weight. Then I just thought if I get down 78 now, like a couple of weeks ago, I'll just maintain the weight, then I'm used to it then, rather than depleting myself and not feeling 100% on the day. But I've not been doing any weights now. I've been training table 3-4 days a week, and the last couple of months feeling a lot better for it. Much better. So I think I'm 100% now. I think I'm probably in the best form I've been.
And in terms of your technical range, are you back to being able to use, because back in the day, obviously at the WL qualifiers and so on, you were known as being extremely well-rounded. You were a guy that could do everything. Obviously, you're extremely tall, 6'3", 6'4". It's very tall for a lightweight puller, but you were able to do everything. Obviously, you were known for the strength on the inside, but you were wicked top roll, good on the defensive top roll also. Pretty much anything and everything. And then we saw you have to change completely. Are you back now being able to change it up to use everything in the arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, when you're wrestling a certain level guy, if they're a world-class puller, you haven't got all them options. You've got to try and find a lane.
Sure.
Like a lot of opponents in the past, and I've been able to access them areas. Not easy, but I've been able to find them lanes pretty easy. But when you get the higher level the puller, the harder it is to find them lanes.
Yeah.
And then you've got to have the strength there as well, and you've got to be really precise.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? Because if you sort of chart back your recent history, you guys have narrowly missed each other. It's like a episode of Final Destination, because so many times you've been on a collision course and something's derailed you. On this most recent occasion, it was COVID-19. But COVID-19 had already had a bit of a twist of fate in your direction, because you guys were going to be both in the season for the WAL. And potentially Mindagus' opening match could well have been Tom Holland. And that was one of the matches that was discussed. Luke Kint was another, and there were various others that were bounded about, with the ultimate objective in Mindagus' mind was to get to the hammer as quickly as he could. And he wanted that match with Janis Armlins, who we thought would be the first and most logical challenger to Tony Kotowski. Now, I didn't ask you the same question the other way around, Mindagus. You watched a lot of Tom. You watched him in the WAL. You've seen Tom's career. How highly do you rate Tom?
Yeah, so if I am completely honest, of course, very highly, very highly. I can clearly see that, especially recently, he's getting some very big wins. Even against the latest one against Adrian O'Dwyer.
That's a massive win. I mean,
that's a big win. Yeah. So clearly, the guy is at the peak of his level, let's say, which makes me a little bit worried. But it's not the first time when I meet someone who is very good. So we will find a way to go around it. But overall, yes, I rate Tom very highly. He has some abilities which are a bit unusual, like the length of his lever, like the arm. It changes some things, even for my technique and my way of pulling. I think maybe I have to make some small adjustments just to make sure that I don't get surprised by his different direction just because of his how tall he is. What makes me a bit more confident is that he is still mainly a hook puller who does not necessarily have the flop wrist press. At least I haven't seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, there's like a triangle. Hook puller is maybe getting outlasted by the defensive top roll, while defensive top roll gets outlasted by the flop wrist press, and then the press guy gets beaten by the hook puller. So in this case, I feel like I'm in the comfortable spot, at least in that way, that if the match stops in a good enough position, I think I should be able to outlast Tom.
And obviously it's 6 rounds.
Yeah.
In this instance, not a battleground. Are you happy about that it's not a battleground? Do you prefer to pull Tom one-on-one? No other distractions? Because I know the opposite side of the coin, it would have been a very, very frustrating day. Take that penis out of my mouth and say that again. Very frustrating day for Tom at Armwar's reality check because of the fact that he had an absolute barn burner with Kaspars Gravis. If you haven't seen that, guys, if you're watching this video now, get over to the new Arm Wars channel and check it out, because what an absolute screaming match that was. You can see it on the Arm Wars channel. It was released last week. It'll give you the story of that match. It was hellfire from the word go. Now, on the other side, you had Janis Armlins, who I think it's fair to say could have started as favourites anyway, coming in there. Certainly a lot of people will have had Janis as the favourite because of his unquestionable pedigree. Now, he got an easy run through in many ways, because in the first round of his first match, Jeff Hale suffered a ultimately catastrophic injury to his elbow, which ended his day. Now, you had to battle through Kaspars and then face an ultimately pretty fresh Janis Armlins. This occasion, Arm Wars Iron House, no distractions. It's one-on-one. It's just you two. It's kind of like, do you feel like this is pretty final, mate? Do you feel like this is right now puts a signature on who is the better man in 2022?
Yeah, I think I am like completely ready to finally like find out who is a really better man at the moment, better arm wrestler. But I will be perfectly fine with giving Tom another chance some later day. I don't necessarily want to just crush him and just leave him in pain. So of course I will be ready to defend my win once more later on. But yeah, I'm very glad to have a chance to finally get my revenge.
Tom, which arm are you most confident on?
Both now. Left arm, I'm obviously confident because I've been there, done it. Right arm, his style's pretty similar to his left. He's just stronger on his right. But I think I know what I need to do to access where I need to be. And I think he said if he thinks he's going to flop my wrist back, though, there's no chance of that.
Who's the stronger man, Tom?
It depends what you mean by that. It's weights. Minda's really strong on the weights, arm wrestling specifics and that. I'd say I've probably got the slight edge on some things. His pronator on the table is probably stronger than mine. My hook's stronger than his. Just different strengths, different areas. It's all about who can access where.
Do you feel like you are quite similar in some respects when you were fully fit, or do you feel like you're very different arm wrestlers?
I feel like we're very different because of Minda. He fully commits to that defensive top roll when if he knows he can't get through the attack straight away, he'll go to that defensive top roll and he'll fully commit to it with all his power. And if the match stops, he'll still continue with that pressure.
Yep.
If I feel a stop, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm not hanging about waiting for someone else to attack me. So I'm making sure I'm going to be on the ball.
Where are Mindalysis' weaknesses, Tom?
Straight wrist. He can't get more height than me on the knuckle. I'm definitely going to get my hand a lot higher than his. So I think I'll be able to get access to the top of his hand. I'll be able to land down on top of it. And in most cases, that'd be good for him to break my wrist back and force me into a dead wrist. But I don't think he can get my wrist back. And in the straps as well, I just don't think he'll be able to get my wrist out.
Now, there's a little bit of a question around speed here, because you're often a guy that likes to initiate. Tom, we've seen that so many times in your career. In your early career, you were known for that. You were blisteringly quick. Less so in more recent times. We've not seen you do that quite as much or need to do that quite as much. Now, Mindalysis is more, a little bit like Devon in some ways. He pulls 90% of his matches off the counter. You know, he will wait for you to initiate. Even if he holds center table, he'll wait for you to initiate. He'll ride through your strengths and weaknesses, find his spot, and then bury your ass. And he does that. He's clinical in terms of the way that he exacts his position at the start of the match. Do you feel like when you pull in a guy like that, it puts the brakes on you a little bit? Are you more nervous about going quick, or is speed still a big part of your game?
Again, it's when you're against a world-class puller like Mindalysis, like I've done it with him before. When we were putting the left arm, first match turned into a battle because I accessed the wrong place, and he just stopped me dead in the middle. Then we ended up in a screamer. Slipped out, got a restart, and I sort of misled him, and I went a different direction. And because of that, my speed looked a lot quicker. So if I hit in the wrong direction, in the wrong place, then yeah, he's going to bust me. But That's why we've got 6 rounds. Got to try and figure it out. I do want to try and flash him. If I can't, I'll just overpower him. Don't mind.
How confident are you, Tom? If you had to sort of put a sliding scale on this thing, how confident do you think you are going in versus last time you pulled?
I don't know.
Are you in a better place now?
Yeah.
Than you were for reality check, for example?
Yeah. I mean, no excuse for reality check, but I was actually, you probably see it, I was coughing all over the place. Like, not COVID. I just had a cold. I just had a really bad cold. But
more people commented on it. A couple of people at the show. I mean, I know they were winding you up about having COVID, but I know at the time people were like, "Tom got COVID."
Jeff was near me, and when I started coughing, Jeff was like that.
Yeah,
went away.
I saw that.
So, but yeah, I mean, even then though, I had the cold and that, but I felt all right on the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my match with Adrian, that sort of told me where I'm at the minute. Cause I didn't expect that at all. Just goes to show that everyone's beatable, and I'm not. I'm pretty sure that I can find a weakness in Mindagus's game, and I can isolate it. So I'm not confident, but I'm sure I know what to do.
When you say you're not confident, do you believe you're the underdog, or do you believe you start to?
I'm the underdog because I've not achieved as much as Mindagus has. But I think I've got the right tools to be able to beat him. He's a tricky person to beat, but I think I've got the right equipment to do it.
Now, Mindagus, obviously known as one of the best top rollers in the world. Interestingly, we've got a guy who is without question one of the best top rollers of all time in the chat. Very good friend of mine, Andrew Cobra Rhodes. Cobra, how you doing, brother? Just seen he's in the chat. And yeah, Cobra, if you're not subscribed to Cobra Rhodes' channel, ladies and gents, get over there and get subbed. Cobra's a great dude, been around this game 30 plus years. I've been friends with the man for more than 25 years. Acid individual, love the man. And Cobra, what a phenomenal arm wrestler. So it's nice to see that the legacy that was laid down, that torch bearing that Cobra did, has been picked up, and you're running forward with it, Mindagus. You're purist top roller, a little bit more defensively minded than Cobra in some respects. But do you know much about Cobra? Have you followed his career at all? Have you modeled yourself on him a little bit, or do you emulate him a little bit in that respect?
Not too much, to be honest. Somehow, I guess when I started, Cobra was already somehow out, and haven't.
How old are you, mate? For everybody's, how old are you now?
Already 30 years old. And
you're what, 27, Tom?
No, I'm 30 as well.
Mate, I tell you, you're dead in a bit.
But Neil, can I come back? Can I come back a little bit to the speed topic?
Yes, of course you can, mate.
Just to defend my slow starts, as people call them. So I think both of us, Tom and me, are equally fast. I don't think I'm slow at all. It's simply that we are using a different technique and we are jumping into different positions.
Well, you're fast to your position.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm not going for a command, it's simply going to a position, yeah.
Yes.
It depends what you put. That's the thing as well. It depends what you call speed. Is it moving across the pad with your whole body, or is it getting that first hand position?
There's speed, like you say, there's different perception of speed. When someone looks at someone who attacks for speed, rather than someone who's just fast to a position. It's a very
speed for the pin and speed for the position.
Yeah, sometimes one can disable the other, and not necessarily in the way that you'd think. Hence my question earlier on about are you very conscious of Mindagus being quick to the spot and also laying that traps for you? He'll put the trap down there, the pit, and you jump into it and you get punished. And there's a degree of bravery in that, I think. So, like, the charge of the light brigade, sometimes you've got to blast into something and see what happens. And that's it takes some balls when you can feel and that the guy you're arm wrestling is as technically proficient as Mindy obviously is. You need to try to assess, okay, what's the risk and reward here? If I go blazing in and I lose my wrist, am I effectively screwing up the rest of the match, On the other hand, Minda's got to think to himself, yeah, and if this guy smashes through that defensive wall that I've put up, an inch this way or an inch back and this way, what's next? You know, because it can almost put you onto the attack. You've got to become more A-side minded and start to go for the attack. And that was my next question for you, Minda, really. Do you feel like when you pull in a guy who is very, very quick, is it harder to get to that position fast? Is it harder to be fast over that 1 inch? Or are you having to be a little bit, not as loose, more rigid? Does it put more rigidity into your game?
I think I'm always fast enough. Always fast enough. So Tom will have to be stronger if he wants to go through me.
So it's a question of that. Who's got the top end
power
power
at the end?
Yeah. And we just got a super chat from another good dude, Kirsten Prodigy. Kirsten Prodigy, for those who don't know, this guy's got balls of steel. He's going to be arm wrestling against Božidar Simeonov, who, in my opinion, is right there with the best 80-kilo guys in the world, if not the very best 80-kilo guy in the world right now. And yeah, a little bit bigger, Kirsten, but comparatively unknown. Based in Malta, and he's going to be coming on the show in a few weeks also. In February, we're going to have the man on the show. You'll be able to meet him and understand a little bit more about his aspirations. Great dude, very endearing individual. And Kirsten has jumped on the Tom Holland bandwagon. He's put a little message for you, Tom. Good luck, Tom. Great person, and greetings from Malta.
Nice one.
Thanks for your super chat, Kirsten. And I know a lot of people will be tuning into that match when you're pulling someone as serious as Božidar Simeonov. Now, getting back to Ormo's Iron House, this is going to be quite a unique individual event. It's going to be very different from probably anything that either of you have done before. In fact, I'm going to say probably different from what anybody's done before. You're in one house, 16 guys. You know exactly when you're arm wrestling. You're going to be living on top of each other for all that period of time. It's fair to say, although you've been pretty tame, I've got to say tonight, and extremely respectful. We've seen in history you two guys be a lot more acid, a lot more, particularly Mindagus with the cutting comments and the sarcasm and so on. How much is that going to form your game plan when you get in there? Are you keeping your powder dry and going to sort of try and start the mind games when you get in the house, Mindagus? Do you think that this kind of environment's going to make it more full on in that respect?
Oh yeah, of course. As always, I still enjoy a little bit of trash talk. I think it makes it much more fun. I would love Tom to get emotionally invested into the match because that would only mean that he would get more and more disappointed by the result, and then it just warms my heart somehow. That's my goal, basically. So I will try to provoke him a little bit if I can, but let's see.
Minda, do you remember what happened when you posted that last video?
Which video?
The one where you said, I need tissue because you're going to make me cry.
Oh, no, I don't remember that one. No.
No.
I haven't seen it. No. Maybe you are imagining.
Yeah, probably.
So, Mindagus, how confident are you, mate? Do you feel like you are a heavy favourite here, and does that create additional pressure for you?
I don't really feel as a heavy favorite or a favorite at all, to be honest. I just really want it done for myself, just to find out myself, like where am I? Again, I can see Tom as a good competitor, and somehow in some ways I'm a little bit worried about the match because we are similar in many ways. Tom has plenty of endurance, which is a big factor in the super matches, and he is somehow able to be very defensive, not easy to finish. So he has many good tools. And also what I noticed is that my own tactic and the game plan in my career is mostly to be the bigger and the leaner guy, but bigger frame, bigger, longer arms, bigger
in
hands.
the weight class, yeah.
In the weight class, exactly. Meanwhile, now I am fighting someone who is even better in this exact area. So I somehow have to rely on maybe out muscling him, and which is maybe not my most comfortable spot to be in. So yeah, but at the same time, I saw what happened with Kaspar's Gravis recently. Wasn't impressed too much. I think Tom is not. When you keep seeing Tom doing so well, you're thinking to yourself like maybe he is really progressed too far away, and maybe I cannot beat him anymore. But I think he's still close enough, no matter how much he progressed recently.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I do have some nice technical things to surprise Tom with, and so in general, pretty confident. I have also improved a lot.
Sorry, go on, mate.
No, I have also improved quite a lot in the past couple of years, which is additional, layer of confidence for myself.
In strength or in technical roundedness? In
strength, a lot in strength, because I did gain. You could say I did gain like 6 kilos, which is for me quite a lot.
Yeah, it really is. Percentage body weight.
Yeah.
Terms, it's very much, and with you carrying very, very little spare. There's no access on you. You're not a guy with a lot of excess weight. You haven't got the ankle tits like myself.
We are still constantly we are still constantly training with Daniel, Tobias, the guys here in Copenhagen, and Tobias was gaining quite a lot of weight recently. He reached up to almost 100 kilo. Meanwhile, I was still able to defend my position in the ranking. So that's how I know that I'm power-wise pretty good.
And obviously Tobias is going to be over there with you.
Yeah.
So you got a bit of Team Denmark, the Lithuanian Dane.
Now we only need Daniel to join us, and then it's going to be pretty cool.
I would like Prokopchuk to be involved in Arm Wars. We've spoken a number of times.
I'm talking about...
Lund Christensen.
Christensen, yeah.
Oh, without doubt. Daniel Lund Christensen will, without doubt, be in Arm Wars, without question. I've got a number of guys that match up very well with him, mate. But now let's get to the sort of meat and bones of this thing, right? When you were coming over to Reality Check with the set of guys that were selected for the battleground, do you feel like Tom was the most difficult opponent in the four, and you were facing the toughest guy straight out of the blocks? Because you got some history there with Janis Amelins also. And Janis Amelins was given the opportunity to come and pull in Ironhouse and declined it.
Wow.
Said he wasn't ready after Worlds. Now, I don't know.
That weakling is trying to run away. That's what I'm saying.
Who are you most confident in arm wrestling against? Because Janis said that he felt you'd have some surprises against Tom.
The question before, I think I was still mostly worried about Janis. Just because, you cannot really forget his accomplishments and so on.
Yeah, I mean, classically, he is 8 strong.
10 tricky bastard.
Exactly.
On the most universally recognized scale of arm wrestling ability, the strong bastard to tricky bastard scale. How do you actually grade yourself on strong bastard, tricky bastard scale, Mindy? Where are you at?
I think I'm pretty tricky.
What do you think? What are you? You're like what? Are you like an 8 strong, 9 strong? Where are you strong?
Also quite strong. I don't know. It's the same as tricky. I think the strength is
the same as tricky.
The same as tricky.
So we're saying what? We're like a 9 strong, 9 tricky bastard, or are we a 10 strong?
No. Let's say give it 9-9. Like 9-9 is a good.
9 strong,
9 tricky bastard.
That's pretty tricky, pretty
But
strong.
yeah, like you know, arm wrestling Yanis is even though I do feel stronger maybe, but it's a bit how to say, it's hard to predict what's going to happen, because it's so much more annoying to lose your wrist,
Yeah,
you know, in a second against Yanis versus getting hooked by Tom is maybe not that bad, because I'm still, you know, in a power move, like I'm still in a hook or something like that.
and you've not lost the fundamental importance.
Yeah,
of your
exactly. I'm not
weapon.
losing the control completely.
Yeah.
Like, so that's maybe not. Yeah, pulling Tom is maybe not as scary.
Very interesting. So let's say if you were successful and you got through Tom Holland, would Yanis be your logical next step in arm wars? Is that the guy you'd like to face next?
Yes, I will pull Yanis next.
Same question for Tom Holland. If you get through Mindalysis TARASAITIS, who is next in your
Yanis. Got to be Yanis.
Yeah, I know you've wanted that back for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, it was a bit annoying, but yes, I was just fucked. For the last match with him.
Reality check.
It was, yeah, so it was really annoying because I was looking forward to that match. Casper sort of ruined the day. But yeah, you'll get to him, but it's just a matter of time.
Tom, but you simply did it to yourself. Why would you waste all the power on Casper's?
I didn't have a choice about how many restarts we had. It weren't my decision.
Still, Casper's is not worth all that power yet. I think I would
He's had some great results, though, hasn't he? I mean, you know, we've seen him do. If you look at his his outings in the EAF and WAF, he's had some very, very impressive wins. You know, so he's without question a solid competitor. And there was definitely a surprise on your face after that first hit, Tom. I could see your face like, what the? He was so out of the blocks.
Yeah, it was really quick. I said I was trying to. I don't know what I was trying to tuck roll, but I was just setting up loose. I was thinking, I could just be nice and snappy out the hand.
Yeah. And
it just fucking a lot quicker than I thought. Just over rotating me, bang. But then, after that, after the second round, as soon as I connected him in the hook, I knew I wasn't going to lose. I just weren't rushing it. I had to take my time because my elbow kept popping off or whatever. So every time I went for the attack, I kept making a foul or whatever. So I had to take my time. But then it's just down to the amount of matches that it was. I think it had like 10, 11 matches, something like that, and 9 of them were battles. So it weren't the best day to finish with, Yanis.
Not really what you want when you're full of a cold and you've scrapped your arm. Yeah, not brilliant. Hey, I'll tell you what, guys. You're getting some old school legends tuning in to check out your show. Sharon, Mr. Forearm Remez is in the chat. Now, he may be before both of your time, because I grew up watching that guy. And let me tell you now, if you're talking about concrete, iron-wristed mother fluffers 101, Sharon Remez, bad mother fluffer. Unbelievable wrist. Let me tell you now. Ill. Sharon, how you doing, mate? Thanks for checking out the show. Yeah, bad man. Now, guys, at the Iron House, we got a number of other mega matches coming over, and I can't let you go off this show tonight without sort of running through some of these and getting your thoughts and feelings on it. And then I am going to put you on the spot and get you to predict your own matches. But before we do that, let's walk through some of the guys we got coming in. And I'm going to start with Jordan Davis, who's like a little carbon copy of you, really, Tom, and a guy that you were supposed to be facing at lightweight, but now we're seeing Jordan Davis come over at around the 92 kilo mark, much bigger version, and he's going to be pulling training partner of yours, Bogdan Stoica, who many people will have seen in the most recent Arm Wars reality check video. Now, how do you see that? How do you think that goes down?
I don't think, well, it's hard to say, obviously. You can't judge Australia. Like, you can't judge their strength level just yet. But I don't think Jordan's the strongest stoiker. I think he's got a lot longer lever, and he's a very good top roller, and he's easily capable of taking Stoiker's hand. I think if that happens,
just because of the height.
Yeah. And he's got a big hand as well. So, yes, he could possibly access the hand. But I think in the straps, he'll struggle to get that top roll. It all depends. It's hard to call, to be honest. I'd obviously back Stoiker. I think Stoiker's got more lanes than Jordan. I think Jordan's
more rounded.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, I'll give the edge to Stoiker. But it's going to be a close match.
If you had to go out on a limb and give us a score, how would you see that?
I'll say 4-2 Stoiker.
4-2 Stoiker. Minda, how do you see that match?
I see it like 6-0. Rest in peace, Jordan Davis.
So you think Bogdan Stoiker is going to bury him?
For sure. It's such a mismatch in my eyes.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. So I know Jordan's not in the chat, but I'm sure he'll be checking out the show. So we'll see how that goes down. Just before we move on, I'm going to get a couple of super chats. Sap the B, thank you for your super chat, mates. But Neil, you should get Alan on Arm Wars. Which Alan do you mean, mate? Are we talking Guerra? Just drop a little note on that. But yeah, I know Alan Guerra was going to be on Reality Check, but he had to go back to Mexico. If that's the Alan we're talking about here. I'll tell you what, this guy is amazing. Mr. Percolate 80. And I'm pretty sure he's got Danny Tesh as his avatar, which is amazing. Mate, cannot thank you enough. Absolutely fantastic support of the channel and really helping a great deal. We're pouring this stuff into the Arm Wars matches. So amazing. Thank you so much. And he's put, Neil, really looking forward to the Iron House and all the matches you bring to us. Master Matchmaker, so looking forward to some screamers. Good luck to both of these boys, and many thanks for the great content over the months and years. I really appreciate it. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate your support as well. It's a massive help. Thanks so much for your contribution there. I'm surprised, actually. Just give me a bit more breakdown on that. Is it a power thing, Minda? Are you seeing Bogdan as just way too strong? You think there's no way that Jordan, because Jordan's pulled some powerful lads. He's pulled guys like Lachlan. He's pulled guys like Ryan. Do you rate Ryan Bowen? Do you think he's overhyped? How do you see Ryan?
No, I think Ryan is okay. He's on some good juice. I'm sure he has leveled up a bit, but I think Jordan is maybe left behind. That's how it looks to me.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And we will have Jordan Davis on the show very shortly, I'm sure. But on the opposite side of that, let's move forward. We got relentless Frode Haageland of Norway. And he's going to be pulling US standout Dallas Langston, who really seems to have been leveling up recently. Minda, firstly.
Yeah, that's a much better match.
Say again, mate. How do you see that one?
50-50, like much better match, much more interesting. I think Dallas can also go inside, so
yes,
I like it. That's a good match.
And you would give that, if you had to $100, you had to pick one. Where are you going?
Maybe I would even go with Dallas.
Very interesting. Tom Holland, who you got?
I think Stamina's going to win it. I think Frode. I think Power's going to start off the same. Frode can wrestle any position. If he gets a stop on it, if he finds a little gap, then it's game on. But I think if it goes all over all 6 rounds and each match is a screamer, I think Frode is going to come on top in the end.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've liked that match for so long. I think it's got the potential to be an absolute barnstormer. I think it could be a killer. I do fear for the guy that comes through that in some ways, because I think either one you're going out on your shield, aren't you? Either one of those guys. I don't see a backward step in either man. Both of them seem to really put it all out there every time they arm wrestle. So, and we've seen from Dallas that he's extremely strong in a strap, really powerful in that strap. So, Frodo's not shy of going in the strap also. I think we're going to get some screamers there. I really, really do. Now, let's move to our next battleground. Okay, this one's in the middleweight division. And we start with a guy, we're going to start with Tom on this occasion, mate, because this is a fella who I know you know very well. Patrick Berg, Van Damberg, coming over from Sweden. And he's going to be pulling Rolly Ray Lipinge. How's that go?
Is that right or left or both?
Both arms. We'll start with the right.
Right arm, I think I'll say, I think I'm going to say Patrick, right arm. I haven't seen Patrick in like 3 years, but I'll probably give him the slight edge on the power. Left arm, that could be a really, really interesting match.
Isn't it?
They're both really compact. They both want to get the shoulder on top of it. I can't call left arm.
Isn't Patrick so much better on his left?
Yeah.
Arguably,
yeah,
so it's great. Yeah.
So don't you think Patrick will be, more comfortable on the left?
Then so's Ray.
Have you got it, Minda?
Patrick will destroy Ray. No problems. And
both arms.
But Ray is still a good coach.
Mm-hmm. But you think that Patrick beats him both arms, no problem?
Yeah.
Wow. In what way? How's he win? Is it speed?
Could be just a good top rollish sideways move, quite simple, no magic, just like overpower. Mm-hmm. If Ray tries to, Ray can only try to press, right? Maybe Patrick will just go in the hook and will not be afraid of the press and then win it.
I think if the match stops in a hook, if it stops anywhere near the center, I think it's going to be like Bojidar versus Samusha. I think it'll just be an absolute screaming, career-ending, stretched-out death war. Because one thing I'll say about Patrick is he gets ugly supinated, like really supinates hard, and that potentially opens up the press option for Ray. Because he'll tighten in with the shoulder. So I think the biggest danger for Ray is off the start. I think the biggest danger for Ray is that incredible start. I really like Patrick Berg, Kaspers Gravis as well. I think that's a great match. That's a match that I've already put down for the next Arm Wars card.
Yeah, that's a better one in my eyes.
I love that match. I think it's great. Now on the opposite side of that same thing, so we've got you're going with Patrick, or you Tom on that one, and so is Minda. Okay. And what about left arm? You still going Patrick, or do you think Ray takes that?
From what I know, I'll have to say Patrick as well. Left arm.
Mm-hmm. And you've got Patrick both arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Opposite side of that draw, your boy coming over from Denmark, Tobias Trolls Pedersen, bigger version of him, and Adrian Popescu. Now, this is right arm. Adrian's not as good on the right arm. He's solid, but not as good on the right arm. How does that match go, Minda?
Well, I was talking to Tobias, and he seemed confident, which makes me confident as well. But also, I know the sneaky Romanians are training hard, so I don't know. It's maybe 50-50. I'm not sure which way I go. But I'm happy that Tobias is confident and he's very determined.
I think in some ways it's a little bit like you were describing earlier with that frame thing, because Tobias is not a big framed individual. Whereas, though he's carrying minimal body fat, you got to say that Adrian Popescu is a very big framed man. He's got a huge frame for the weight class. You know, he really is like a Dairy Lee triangle. He's just got no legs. So I think that's an interesting one. But the aggression, explosivity of Tobias is a weapon. He's so fast out of the blocks. He's so aggressive, chases the match so hard. And I think that's very interesting as well.
It's a good tool. It's a good tool from him whenever he wants to finish someone quickly. So maybe it will help him to avoid these longer, like frame to frame fights. Maybe he can just blast through Adrian.
Personally, I hope that does not happen. The whole idea of this thing is that they get into a killer match, and so do Ray and Patrick. We will see. The coin's in the air. Let's see how it lands. Tom Holland, how do you see it, mate?
Oh, right arm. I'll probably would say Tobias. Right arm. I pulled them both. I managed to get through Adrian on the right arm. Like, I felt I managed to find his hand, then take him down. Tobias end up in a bit of a match. Yeah, I think Tobias is going to take that.
And Tobias has improved a lot also.
Sorry?
And Tobias has also improved a lot since then.
So. Is he having to cut quite a bit of weight? Where's he at weight-wise?
Sorry.
Is he having to cut quite a bit of weight?
I think he's already down to 90. And he was already in for a couple of weeks, so he's fine. But yeah, he did have to cut 10 kilo.
Holy shit. Yeah, so he's cut down quite a lot. Geordie Chocolate Thunder Williams in the chat, mate. How are you doing? Hope you're well, Geordie. Good to see you on here, mate. Thanks for taking the time. Yeah, I believe that's another screamer. I think that is going to be the shock of the whole card. That battleground, I think, is going to turn up some screamers. I really do. I think Ray Lifebinge has been pulling really well recently. Pulled very impressively for me on the right hand against Craig Sanders. I was very, very impressed.
That was a good match.
Great match. I mean, that'll be out in a few weeks, and believe me, maybe arguably the best match of the tournament. It was right there. You know, it was right there. It was a mega match. So that's interesting. Now, let's talk about some of the other guys that people might be less focused on. And the first one I wanted to go to was Uncle John Thompson. Left hand match against Arm War's favourite, the Thing, Maynard Nenges. Minda, how's it go?
No opinion. I really have no idea about the level of strength at all. No idea. Haven't arm wrestled any of the guys, so I really just.
Tom, how do you see it?
Again, just from what I've seen, never gripped up with any of them. But from what I've seen, and because he's used to arm wars, I'll say Minda.
Yeah, Maynard's one of those guys that he's everybody knows what he's going to do, but he's really effective at doing it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Now, I think the other thing is for John, who's super diligent, and he has got a rock solid lefty, massive hand as well. I do think it's interesting because John's going to come in with a very, very clear game plan. I mean, there's so much information out there on Maynard and what he does. I can't imagine that John is going to really look to go for the hook. I just don't see it at all. If I was John, I'd be trying to blast the hand and wrist all day long. He's got a massive hand. We've seen him have a degree of success, even with such as David Bradford, who we know David's really strong, particularly on that left arm. I think that could be an exciting match, really entertaining. I'm looking forward very much to seeing that. One of the things I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about sort of starting things off on the right arm on Friday, as the right out the blocks? Friday night.
How soon do you want to lose?
I'm not gonna lose, but
started then.
Ideally, I was maybe hoping to start with left because I don't want Tom to
destroy your confidence, and
I don't, I consider maybe my left being a little bit bigger risk for me. So I don't want Tom to find out all the ways how he lost on the right, and then maybe change something for the left.
But then I can easily say I don't want to pull left first, because I don't want you to come up with that excuse when I beat you on the right. You can say, "Oh yeah, I was tired from the left."
Yeah, so it's fine. Let's do a video right. It's fine.
No, I don't mind. I really don't mind.
So Friday night,
whatever works best.
You both arrive at the venue on Thursday. You'll have had a full night in there. Does it give you enough time to get under the skin and get some of those head games going, Mindalysis, that we know you'll have to do?
Well, let's see. Tom seems to be a little bit afraid already to me. But maybe I don't really need to do anything more.
Already planted the seed.
Pointless. Don't even try.
Tom, let me just ask you.
You're gonna wasting energy, precious energy. You need it.
Let me just ask you something.
No.
You told me before that your father was an arm wrestler as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he still following the sport? Like.
Yeah, he's probably watching.
Yeah, Lee's a beast, mate. When Lee Holland back in the day, there was a time, let me tell you now, Lee Holland was ferocious. Man was fire-breathing bastard, let me tell you now. Strong as hell, really strong, explosive individual, rock strong, Lee. At his best, Lee was for real, let me tell you.
He told me to remind you about the slipper.
So, but Tom, do you think he would be very disappointed if you lose 6-0?
I've lost loads of times. But I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose to you.
But what do you think would be his reaction?
Don't know. He won't need to react. It's he knows that I'm going to smash you.
Let's just hope that he takes it well.
Take it better than you. Remember to bring your tissues.
Hey, we don't leave any tissues in the house. You might be bored. We don't know what he'll do with them. Leave the tissues at home, lads. Leave the tissues at home. We don't need any tissues in the house. We'll have enough that going on. If any of you disappear upstairs, I'll be wondering what's going on. Not where you're coming downstairs and not being able to see what you're doing. Terrible. Now, let's go on to the left arm, because there's a match I love that I wanted to ask you guys about. Stoiker, Langston, left hand. Who do you like? Who wants to go first? Because we know Bogdan Stoiker and Frodo was like nip and tuck tight at reality check. We know that Dallas has had some super impressive outings on his lefty. I think that's going to be a great match.
Yeah. Again, obviously, I'm going to be rooting for Bogdan.
It's almost boxer against puncher, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you've got your guy who just wants to make it happen in a phone box and dig in, and you got the finesse of Bogdan.
So that's what I mean. Over 6 rounds, there's more options for Bogdan. There's a lot more options.
The funny thing is, though, Dallas is going to drop him and go to strap every time, isn't he?
Yeah.
As soon as if he gets busted, it's just going to bail underneath, get to the strap.
So if Bogdan can't cope with the horsepower, he needs to go around it, avoid it, but he's got the tools to do that if he needs to. So I'll probably go with Bogdan.
What about yourself, Mindalysis? How do you see that one going? He's still as confident in Bogdan for that one?
Not necessarily. It looks like a close one for sure. I'm thinking maybe Bogdan can just keep shooting quickly for those top roll attacks. Maybe he can damage some Dallas wrist. That's a way for Bogdan to do some damage. But otherwise, if the match stops in a tough spot, maybe Dallas can pull it out. So 50-50.
See, originally I'd matched up Dallas Langston in my mind with, Oleg Todorian.
Yep.
I had Dallas and Oleg. That was a match I liked also in the original 8-man thing. And I figured that would be another screamer because Oleg Todorian's explosive as hell, very, very strong. Actually, Oleg's one of the guys that Kaspars Gravis got a win against. Have you seen that match I think it was the EAF or WAF? They had a match and he pulled him back from the death in an absolute screaming match. Now, I really liked that. I liked Oleg Todorian and Dallas, but I think that's more puncher. Whereas in this instance, Dallas is just going to be, he's probably going to know that he's a little bit out finessed on the left arm. And I think he'll think nothing of just dropping his wrist, getting to the strap and trying to dogfight it out. Now, what I love about that is because we've seen Bogdan do that so many times with great powerhouse arm wrestlers, guys like Stefan Thomas, where he's had some dramatic wars. So I absolutely love that match. I think it's going to be a screamer. And then on the opposite side is another equally exciting match between Frode Höglund and Adrian Popescu. How's that?
Very exciting. That's a good one.
Who've you got?
Again, cannot judge at all. Like, it's such a good match, and it's just impossible to predict. Perfect.
Somebody may die. That is a match right there. It really is a screamer. Tom, how do you see that one, mate? You're very familiar with both lads. Obviously, we know that Adrian has zero fundamentals.
Yeah, none.
Going to be a problem.
None whatsoever. You don't even know the word. No, he's Adrian's got that one really, really good ace. When he lands there, he's really strong.
Oh yeah, so position.
But again, Frode can pull literally anywhere.
What's interesting in this as well is Adrian's not lacking stamina, is he? He's got some on that left arm. When he gets dug, he can pull all goddamn day, and we know Frode can. So I just think both the second round matches are going to be hell. I think both whoever wins, whoever loses, they all come through ruined.
Yeah,
ruined. I just think all four of those guys are going to be scrap. They're going to need a stump man to hold their dick when they go for a piss. I mean, immoral. How the hell they're going to feel after that? Can you imagine? I mean, Popescu and Frode, my God. Talk about miles on the clock. You're very familiar with that, Tom. How many times you've been in death matches with that dude?
Popescu, we've had 2 super matches. Yeah, I pulled him in tournament first. And then we got to 1-1. And then he pinned me, so it was 2. He beat me in the final. And then second time round, we had a super match. That was a really good match.
Yeah,
he won that again, but I got a couple. And then Arm Wars. Yeah, the weight difference was just too much. I even said before, like, I went into that match knowing that I was going to lose.
He looked massive.
The other times before when I pulled him, I was thinking, like, the time that I pulled him in Bogdan, I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to get him. I've got him this time.
Yeah.
When it comes to Arm Wars, and he told me, yeah, you got Adrian left arm, I was like, I'm not going to win. I went into that match knowing I wasn't going to win. So I've got to be heavier for him. Like, to wrestle in that style because of his triangulating with his body weight versus body weight, and heavier guys.
Yeah, and he leans in and he ain't backing up. There's no back.
His top half, like you said, he's like an upside down triangle, isn't he? He's just his top half's massive. When he gets all that on top of his arm, it's really strong. Hard to get out.
He's got zero spare on him. He's like a frigging underwear model. He's ripped to the bone, and he's a big. I mean, if he filled out a bit, he'd be 100 kilos in a heartbeat. Yeah. He's got a massive frame for that weight class. When he got on the scales, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
He looks so much heavier than he is. He must have balsa wood legs. It's ridiculous. But every credit to the lad. He doesn't back off. And I think why I like it as well is he's not necessarily the guy that's going straight for the pad. He's sort of like, again, he's hitting for the position. he's supinating, he's coiling, and he's hitting for that position. And I think that leads to just a death match with Froda.
Yeah.
Froda can come in injured, because I know Froda tweaked his elbow pretty good at reality check. Hopefully, touch wood, that's good, and Froda comes in fully fit. I think we're in for a screamer there as well. Now, David Bradford, Jordan Davis. How do you see that, guys? Left arm.
Left arm. Left arm. And both top rollers. Dave. I mean, when Dave's really good top roller. But I'm not sure what he'd be like with someone with a longer arm that's got more reach. I think I'd say Dave's a stronger man.
Maybe not as finesse based.
Yeah.
What
Again,
about the sort of hanging traps?
Jordan's got a bit more access.
Sort of lying in wait a couple of inches back from the start. That's what concerns me there. If he can, Jordan's got so much ability to pull off the counter.
Yeah.
He'll pull pistol wristed, and then drop back, and that's dangerous, particularly over 6 rounds. Might lead.
I think if Dave plays it right, I'll put money on Dave. Win that left arm.
Jordan Davis in the chat. He's in the chat right now. I might even call him in for a second. I might send a link over to him. Let's see if I can just ping this link over, and we'll see if we can get Jordan Davis in. We will see.
Tom, how are you with David? Can you beat David?
Last time we pulled, I beat David last time we pulled at the British Nationals. Because I pulled him in the qualifying round. I flashed him, and then he had to beat me twice. I had to beat him once in the final, and I tried hitting loosely, and he stopped me and pinned me. And I was like, all right. Then we got in the straps in the deciding match, and then I was able to top roll him in the straps. That was, I want to say 2018, 2017, 2018, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Maybe that match between Jordan and David is pretty good one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting for me because I don't know a lot about Jordan's left. And I've just sent him the link. So, Jordan, if you are watching, I've just emailed you the link, mate. If you are available to come on, by all means, drop in. And that is emailed to you now.
But the thing is, well, David's got a lot better since then. So I don't actually know where Dave's level is at. All I know is he's stronger than when I last pulled him.
And he looked very well conditioned. He looked like he'd been training hard last time I saw him. Looked solid as balls. Yeah. Really did. Yeah, it's an enticing one because I feel like Ryan has set the bar very high. We'll ask him this question. I was going to say, I feel like the bar for Australia has been set high, and I feel sorry for some of the Aussie lads when they come into this because it's almost like they're being auto-analysed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so like I said, we don't know the exact level. We don't know where they're at in a minute. It's hard to tell. We can only go off what we see. Yeah. And what we see is hard to judge because of the majority of the time that you see them on the table, they're pulling amongst each other. Yeah, like in Australian tournaments.
Puts a lot of pressure on them, though, doesn't it? Which is great for Ryan because he's building his business and he's effectively building that promotional base. But
at the same time, they're chasing it. They've got a point to prove.
Sure.
So yeah, they're chasing it, and no one knows until they start getting abroad, which I'm expecting they will now. Now COVID's over with.
Yeah, pretty imminent. We're seeing that influx now.
I think over the next year or so, we're going to have a good idea of where they're at.
How did you feel Lachlan Adair went, guys, against TODDZILLA? I mean, my God, talk about set the bar high.
Yeah, that was Todd's hand and wrist.
It was still a beautiful match, even though it was quite one-sided. It was still you could see the power.
TODDZILLA is so strong. He really is a ridiculously strong individual. Jordan, can you hear us yet, mate? He's trying to connect, I think. Yeah, some just having a few technicals, Jordan, but I'm sure he'll be with us shortly. If you can hear us, Jordan, you're not coming through on audio yet, mate, and I can't see you, so maybe drop out and jump back in, see if you can get on again. What about the next steps for you guys? I mean, obviously, Iron House is a precursor. We're heading towards the Arnold Classic UK again in September, and we know we've got a hell of a card there that we're going to put together. If you could pick your opponent, if you could pick single match or battleground, what would you call? Do you like the battleground format best, or do you like the one-on-one thing?
I like the battleground format. It depends if you're getting who you want in the first round, or if you got a fight a fucking shitty war just to get to the person that you want, and then you're knackered by the time. I think I'd probably rather single.
Hey Tom, here's something for you. So, Kinetic Stringwell in the chat, he's put, never underestimate Tom. Trust me, it will be your downfall. Tom is very underestimated. Then Sap the Bee comes back with, I think Tom is overrated as hell. I think it's more that he's Neil's friend, which is why he's here. What's your
Wow.
on that?
Cheers,
That's
Neil.
brutal.
Yeah, it's quite harsh, isn't it?
That's very harsh.
It is very, very harsh indeed from Sap the Bee. It's just because you're my friend. That's all it is, Tom. Jordan Davis.
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Oh, mate, another day at work. You just like calling me when I'm at work, I swear.
Yeah, when you're fixing fans and stuff. Mate, we were just talking about the Iron House. We're obviously looking to try and get you on next week with a couple of the guys that you're going to be pulling in there, but a bit of a precursor. We thought we'd try and get you on for 5 or 10 minutes. Sorry to interrupt your day, but talking about the left arm match with David Bradford, first of all, because your left arm is not talked about a great deal. We're just wanting to let people in the chat know, where do you see your left arm? How is it comparatively versus your right?
It's not my right, that's for sure. It's a different ballpark. So my right, probably top 5 in the country. Left, probably 20, somewhere around there. I hang with everyone my weight. So everyone my weight, there's probably 1 or 2 guys that could not beat me, you know, that kind of toss. But, you know, when I start to get to heavier guys, it starts to get a little bit harder for me with my left. So I consider my left to be good for my weight, but my right I consider to be, you know, much better.
And let's move to the right arm, mate. When we're talking about the right arm, and you've got a pretty tricky opener. So you start with a guy we've literally just seen in action. We've seen his versatility. Tom knows him very well. I think Minda knows him very well, actually. But you guys in Oz, prior to him pulling on Reality Check, I don't think many people knew the hell this guy was. But Bogdan Stoik is a bit of a beast. He's one of Romania's finest. He's been on a tear recently, and he's got a gang of confidence, massive amount of ability. Hell of a guy to start your Arm Wars career with.
That's the only way I want to start, mate. You want to give me an opportunity, I'll take it and seize it with every ounce of my body. So if you're looking for someone that's not going to let die, well, you know, you called me up, so I'm going to throw my arm in the ring with him. So
how much do you know about him? How much have you been studying him recently? Have you done a bit of homework on him, mate?
I saw him in a video probably about 3 years ago. Didn't really click who he was or what he was. And then I heard you talk about him with Ryan. You wanted him to go up against Ryan in one of the fix videos that you're going on about. And I was like, oh, I might do some research. And that was the first time that I saw him. And since then I saw his match with Paul Maiden. Obviously very detailed. I watched his match with Frode and kind of divulged from that where he was at in current circumstances. So I think it'll be a really good match. I think stylistically it favours me, but I think he's bringing more horsepower to the table, as I've always faced people with more horsepower. So.
And what about on the opposite side of that same battleground, mate? How do you see Frode versus Langston?
dirty, dirty day. Freud and Dallas, like the moment that match stops, that's savage. That's just savage.
Who do you like in there? Who do you think's got it?
As much as I love Dallas, I've got a little bit of a beef with him because he's up 2-1 on me, so I want Freud to win.
Do you think like the winner comes through your side of the bracket will go on to win the match because they'll beat the shit out of each other?
Yeah. I think Mindalysis is going to be more simplified, whereas on the other side of the draw, the moment anything stops, they're both going to feel like they're in the match. Yeah. Dallas with his defensive hook stop, Freud with just pure center table, supination, shoulder line. You know, it's going to be hell. So, yeah.
Exciting stuff. As I say, we'd love to have you on next week, mate. We'll try and round up Dallas. We'll try and round up Frode Haugland and Bogdan Stoiker and get the four of you on here, and we can have a chat through that battleground. It should be a fun one. Maybe we do that next Thursday night. But I know we're only going to be on here for a few more minutes. We've been on for about an hour and a half, but I couldn't sort of jump off here without sort of closing things up. First of all, I wanted to get your opinions on the two gentlemen that we've got on the call right now, Mindalysis, TARASAITIS and Tom Holland. Now, they're going to be pulling right arm on Friday, main event match. Yep. I wanted to get your take on that. Who do you like? How do you see that match going?
Now, the moment this was announced at the first Arm Wars, I did a dance. I was like, oh, yes, this is going to be freaking brilliant. Tom just diving in for that connection against Mindalysis. Oh, I think this will, if everything comes out balanced and the two guys come to the table balanced, this will be a match that will literally go down. And you'll see it edged in stainless steel in 1,000 years. It ain't stone, it's stainless steel. And that's why it's going to be Ironhouse. You're starting it with the match. And
yeah, I believe it's going to be a screamer. Do you see it heavily in favor of one guy? If it goes top roll, then do you think if it's all on the outside? Because we've heard Tom say that his wrist's healed up. Do you expect that we're going to see some surprises, or do you think it's pretty much Tom will go where he goes and Minda will go where he goes?
No offense to Tom, because I have grouped Mindalysis very briefly.
Was that the Nemiroff? Was that at where was that Nemiroff? Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I know where Giannis is at, and I know where Mindalysis is at, and seeing Giannis after, I know that Tom had that massive war with Kravitz, but I think that just seeing that, I think Tom's going to have the same issue as he had with Giannis at WAL. I think that it's just going to be too much because Mindalysis has got a little bit more height. He's going to have a little bit more leverage compared to Giannis in being able to contain that top roll backwards. And I think Tom's just going to be a little bit underneath with that top of the wrist. And he's going to have to eventually, I think he'll put up that fight initially and have that top roll. But I think as the rounds progress further and further, I think it'll start going deeper and deeper into that hook. And Tom's going to be searching to drive it back in.
You got $100, American dollars, not all that Aussie rubbish, real money. Where are you going to put it? Where do you put it, mate? Who's going to win the match and what score? Give us a score.
3. Mindalysis.
Ooh. So it goes to the draw, silver bullet, and Mindalysis scrapes through. And left arm, how do you see it?
I don't know left arm. I don't know Tom enough left arm, and I definitely don't know Mindalysis. I'm not going to put that on the line. Just at a brief glance, I'd say Tom 4-2.
Okay, so a more convincing win for Tom Holland. Now then, we're going to be jumping off here in just a moment, but before we do, acid test. Let's see who knows their onions. Mindalysis, TARASAITIS. Give us a scoreline, right-handed. What's this finish? How's it go?
Say it again. Who against who?
You two, right-handed. Scoreline, how's it go? What's your
mm,
final prediction heading in?
5-1 for me.
5-1. When does that one round occur? Early? Or is it one you let him have at the end?
Yeah, it's maybe round 3, round 4 when I notice that, okay, it's going too easily, but it's still Arm Wars. I have to prolong the match, and then, you know, I go down.
Okay. Wish my wife went down that easy. Now then, Tom Holland, same question, mate.
Yeah, again, 5-1 to me, but I'll let him win the last match just so we don't feel completely destroyed at the end of it. I don't want you to be heartbroken or anything. Like, it's a big house, so you can run into there's a lot of rooms you can run into and hide. But
and left arm, we'll start with Tom.
left arm 6-0.
6-0.
Done it before, do it again.
Mindalysis TARASAITIS, how does it finish? Left arm.
Since I will be a bit more confident after a right arm, maybe I will try to make it 4-2. So I give him a bit more, or even 3-4.
Yeah, goes back 3-3 and that silver bullet.
Yeah.
Well, are we happy? Whoever wins, if it goes to the silver bullet, lovely darts. That's how we roll. So yeah,
No, it won't. Sorry, mate.
love that.
No worries, Neil. I will make sure it looks good.
Tremendous stuff, guys. For everybody in the chat who's taken the time to check out the show tonight, thank you very much for your attention, for your time. Please do us a favor, guys, if you're not already subscribed to the Arm Wars YouTube channel, the new Arm Wars YouTube channel, get over there and please do so. I want to also say a massive thanks to our channel sponsors. So, Western Survivor Beef Jerky, the best beef jerky on planet Earth. Get over there, www.westernsurvivor.ca. Get over, check them out. Really is the best beef jerky you've ever tasted in your life. The other thing I want to mention is our newest sponsor, Armwrestlingforums.com. Remember the good old days of the Northeast message board when the obsessed amongst us used to go on there and talk for hours about various stuff? I've seen it lighted up in the chat tonight with the hardcore. This is a place you can do that. It's not organized or owned by any of the big tech, big corp companies, nothing like that at all. This is completely independent. Some of the best arm wrestlers in the world are on there. They're going on there chatting. They'll answer your questions. You can chat amongst each other, whether it be training, whether it be upcoming matches and events, things of that nature, you name it. Get on there and check it out. Let's bring that chat back. It's good to talk about the sport. So please get over to armwrestlingforums.com. Buy yourself a bag of beef jerky, settle yourself down and get it going, mother fluffers. For those of you who are not familiar with Mindalysis and Tom and Jordan, I know that Mindalysis and Tom are both on YouTube, and they would love for you to go over and like, share, subscribe. They would absolutely love that. Build some fan base for these guys. Two of the best in the world. Great to have them on here. Jordan, you're on YouTube yet?
Yeah, Jordan Aricha Davis.
Jordan Aricha Davis on YouTube. Get over. We'll put the links for all these guys' channels in the description. Please get over there, like, share, and subscribe. And while you're here, guys, please give us a like and a sub also here on Supernatural Strength channel. Just one thing I wanted to mention. I had a load of messages coming in about where people can get all the merchandise for the Arm Wars Super Series channel. If you go to any of the Arm Wars links, so you go over to the new Arm Wars channel, go over to the description, look in there, and all the links are there. In the description, all the items are there. Check them out. Also, if you go into the description of this video, you'll see the Arm Wars stuff on there. Also, you can go in. There's a massive range for you to choose from, guys. All colors, different styles. Check them out. Pick up your merch today. We're going to end it there. Guys, I just want to say a massive thanks for taking the time out. Join us on the show tonight. It's been great to have you all on. I cannot wait to get in that house and see these matches. I think it's going to be a tremendous weekend. And we're going to make some films. Going to be good stuff. Ladies and gents, I hope you and your families are all well. Enjoy your evening wherever you are in the world. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Thanks to all you guys. And until we see you next time, take it easy, peeps.
See ya.
Lovely darts. We're off.